The rain hammered the glass windows of the luxury hotel penthouse at 3 a.m. 17 floors below. The city pulsed with neon and noise. Up here, silence. Zara adjusted her black apron over her fitted charcoal t-shirt and skinny black jeans, white Vans squeaking against polished hardwood. Her dark hair was pulled into a low ponytail, silver hoops catching the dim light. She pushed her housekeeping cart through the hallway, keys jangling. Room 1705. According to the system, it should be empty. Checkout was yesterday. She swiped her MasterCard anyway. The door clicked open. Someone was inside. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed the storm outside, lightning splitting the sky in jagged white lines. A figure stood silhouetted against the glass, phone pressed to his ear. "I don't care what the board says. We're not selling." His voice was sharp, cold. "Tell them I'll burn it all down first." Zara froze. The guy turned. He wore an unbuttoned navy blazer over a rumpled white tee, black fitted trousers, designer slides. His hair was dark and messy, like he'd been running his hands through it for hours. Sharp jawline, tired eyes, maybe mid-20s, but carrying the weight of someone twice that age. "You're not supposed to be here," Zara said, gripping her cart. "Neither are you." He ended the call without looking away from her. "This room's paid through the month. The system says checkout." "The system's wrong." He moved closer. Tall, maybe 6 feet 1 inch, the kind of presence that demanded attention. "I'm Dante Moreno." She'd heard that name. Real estate heir. His family owned half the buildings downtown. The other half, they were buying. "Cool. I'm still cleaning this room." His laugh was bitter. "You don't know who I am, do you? Rich guy who thinks rules don't apply." "Yeah, I got it." Something flickered in his expression. Surprise maybe. Or respect. "What's your name?" "Zara." "Well, Zara." He sat on the edge of the unmade bed, surrounded by empty energy drink cans and scattered papers. "Clean whatever you want. Just don't ask questions." She should leave. Call her supervisor. Follow protocol. Instead, she started wiping down surfaces. The room was chaos. Takeout containers, legal documents, a laptop with 17 tabs open. But what caught her eye was the framed photo face down on the nightstand. "Don't look. Not your business." Her hand moved anyway, flipping it over. A girl. Maybe 19, with Dante's same dark eyes and bright smile. Written on the bottom, "To my big brother, love always, Sophia." Past tense. "You shouldn't have touched that." His voice went deadly quiet. Zara set it down carefully. "I'm sorry. Everyone's sorry." He stood abruptly, crossing to the window. "Sorry doesn't change anything." The rain intensified, drumming harder against the glass. Thunder rolled through the walls. "How long has it been?" Zara asked softly. 6 months. Car accident. Drunk driver walked away without a scratch. His fists clenched. She was going to graduate next month. Had her whole life planned out. Zara's throat tightened. She knew that pain. Different story, same wound. "My mom," she said. 3 years ago. Cancer. I was supposed to be there. Picked up an extra shift instead. She died alone." Dante turned, eyes locked on hers. Raw. Exposed. "That why you're cleaning hotel rooms at 3 a.m.? That's why I'm anywhere at 3 a.m. Can't sleep when the guilt's that loud." Something shifted between them. Recognition. 2 people drowning in the same ocean. "I need to tell you something." Dante's voice dropped. "But if I do, you're going to hate me. Try me." He reached into his blazer, pulled out a folder. Dropped it on the bed. Zara opened it. Her hands went numb. Eviction notices. Dozens of them. All signed by Dante Moreno. All for the building where she lived. "You're the one." Her voice shook. "You're destroying my neighborhood. It's business. Nothing personal." "Nothing personal?" She threw the folder at him. Papers scattered everywhere. "My little brother goes to school 3 blocks from our apartment. My abuela has lived there for 40 years. You're erasing people's lives for profit. You don't understand." "Then make me understand." "I'm being blackmailed." The words exploded out of him. "Someone has evidence that could destroy my family's entire company. They want those buildings cleared by next month or they release it. I don't have a choice. Everyone has a choice. Not when the alternative is watching everything my father built collapse. Not when 50 employees lose their jobs. Not when my mother loses her home. Zara stared at him. At the guilt carved into his face. At the impossible position he was trapped in. So you sacrificed my home to save yours. Yes. His honesty was brutal. I'm not the hero here, Zara. I'm just trying to survive. Her phone buzzed. A text from her younger brother. Where are you? Landlord came by. Said we have 30 days. She looked up at Dante, betrayal burning in her chest. Get out of my way. But as she reached the door, he called out. Wait. Please. She shouldn't turn around. Shouldn't listen. She turned around. Help me, Dante said, and his voice cracked. Help me find whoever's doing this. You're the first person in months who's looked at me like I'm human. I can't do this alone. Why would I help you? Because if we find them, I can stop the evictions. All of them. He stepped closer. But I need someone who isn't afraid to tell me the truth. Someone who sees through the bullshit. Rain lashed the windows. Lightning illuminated his face. Desperate. Dangerous. Honest. 1 week, Zara said. You have 1 week to figure this out. After that, I'm done. Deal. She didn't know why she was saying yes. Didn't know why every instinct was screaming at her to run. Didn't know that tomorrow, everything would get so much worse. But she knew one thing. This was the worst decision she'd ever made. And she couldn't wait to see where it led. 4 days later, Zara sat cross-legged on Dante's penthouse couch at 2 a.m., wearing ripped black jeans and an oversized olive green hoodie, hair messy from running her hands through it. Dante paced the room in gray sweatpants and a black-fitted crew neck, barefoot, stress radiating off him like heat. The coffee table was covered in printouts, photos, sticky notes connected by red string like some true crime documentary. This is insane, Zara muttered, studying a blurry surveillance photo. You're telling me someone's been watching you for months? Not just me. My whole family. Dante stopped pacing, rubbed his face. Dark circles under his eyes had gotten worse. Every business meeting. Every property deal. They know things only insiders would know. So it's someone close. Has to be. Zara picked up another photo. Dante and an older man shaking hands outside a restaurant. Who's this? Marcus Webb. My father's business partner for 20 years. He's like family. Family's usually the first suspect. Not Marcus. He loved Sophia. Cried at her funeral. There's no way. Everyone's capable of betrayal when the price is right. Zara's voice was flat, learned from experience. Dante sat beside her, close enough that she could smell his cologne mixed with coffee. You don't trust anyone, do you? Trust gets you killed. Or worse. What's worse? Disappointed. He laughed, short and sharp. Fair. Their eyes met. Something electric passed between them. Dangerous and magnetic. Zara's phone rang, shattering the moment. Her brother's name flashed on screen. I gotta take this. She walked to the window. Hey, Carlos. What's wrong? Zara, someone broke into our apartment. Her blood went cold. What? When? Like an hour ago. I heard them downstairs. Didn't take anything though. Just left a note. What did it say? Silence. Then Carlos's shaky voice. Stop asking questions or your sister pays the price. The phone slipped from her hand. Dante caught it before it hit the floor. Who is this? He demanded into the speaker. Dante. Carlos sounded confused. Your sister's with me. She's safe. Are you safe? Yeah, I locked my door. Called 911. They're sending someone. Good. Stay there. We're coming. Dante ended the call, handed the phone back. His jaw was tight. This just got personal. It was always personal. Zara's hands trembled. They went after my brother. He's 16. This has nothing to do with him. They're sending a message. To both of us. Then we send one back. Dante grabbed his keys, shoved his feet into sneakers. What are you thinking? You said Marcus knows everything about your business, right? Right. Then we break into his office. Tonight. Find proof. That's insane. You have a better idea? Dante stared at her. Then a slow, dangerous smile spread across his face. You're kind of terrifying, you know that? Good. Let's go. 20 minutes later, they stood in the parking garage of Webb Industries. Rain had stopped, but the air was thick with humidity. Dante's black Mercedes was parked in the shadows. Security changes shifts in 5 minutes, he said, checking his watch. We have a 10-minute window. How do you know that? I helped design this building. Know every blind spot. They slipped through a side entrance, Dante's access card still working. The building was dark except for emergency lighting. Their footsteps echoed on marble floors. Marcus's office was on the 12th floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the financial district. His desk was pristine. Too pristine. Start looking, Dante whispered. Zara rifled through drawers while Dante checked the computer. Nothing. Everything was locked or encrypted. This is a waste of time. Frustration bled through her voice. Wait. Dante pulled a framed photo off the wall. Behind it, a small safe. Bingo. Can you open it? Sophia's birthday. He uses it for everything. Dante's fingers flew across the keypad. Click. The safe swung open. Inside, a single folder. Dante pulled it out, hands shaking. Opened it. His face went white. What? What is it? He couldn't speak. Just handed her the folder. Photos. Dozens of them. Sophia's car. The accident scene. But not random shots. These were taken from above. Planned. Deliberate. And at the bottom, a receipt. Payment to a man named Victor Reyes. Date: the day before Sophia died. Oh my God. Zara's voice was barely a whisper. Dante, this means. It wasn't an accident. His voice broke. Marcus killed my sister. The lights blazed on. They spun around. Marcus stood in the doorway, gun in hand. Mid-50s, silver hair, expensive suit even at 3 a.m. He looked calm. Almost sad. I really hoped you wouldn't figure it out, he said softly. Dante stepped in front of Zara. Why? She was like a daughter to you. She found out about the money laundering. Was going to report me. Marcus's hand didn't shake. I couldn't let her destroy everything. It was business. Business? Dante's roar echoed through the office. She was 19. And naive. Like you. Marcus's eyes shifted to Zara. Who's this? The cleaning girl? Really, Dante? Bringing civilians into this. Let her go. This is between us. Can't do that. She's seen too much. Zara's mind raced. They were 12 floors up. One exit. One gun. The blackmail, she said suddenly. That's you too. Forcing Dante to clear those buildings. Why? Marcus smiled. Development deal of a lifetime. Once those properties are empty, I buy them for nothing. Flip them for millions. Dante here was supposed to be my useful idiot. You used my sister's death. Dante's voice was deadly quiet. You murdered her and then used my grief to manipulate me. Nothing personal. Just business. I'm going to kill you. No. Marcus raised the gun. You're not. Zara moved without thinking. Grabbed the heavy crystal award on Marcus's desk and hurled it. It caught him in the shoulder. The gun went off. The bullet shattered the window behind them. Dante tackled Marcus. They hit the ground hard. The gun skittered across the floor. Zara dove for it. Her fingers closed around cold metal. Freeze. Police swarmed through the door. Drop the weapon. Zara's hands shot up. The gun clattered down. She's with me. Dante shouted. He's the one you want. But the cops grabbed Zara first, yanking her arms behind her back. Wait, no. Dante struggled against the officers holding him. She didn't do anything. We got a call about a break-in, the lead officer said. Anonymous tip. Said Dante Moreno and an accomplice were robbing the place. Marcus stood, straightening his suit, blood on his shirt, but smiling. Thank God you're here, officers. These two have been trying to extort me for weeks. That's a lie. Zara struggled. He killed Dante's sister. The proof is in that folder. What folder? Marcus held up empty hands. I don't see any folder. Zara's heart stopped. The folder was gone. Marcus must have grabbed it during the fight. You set us up, Dante said, realization dawning. You knew we'd come. I've been 10 steps ahead this whole time. Marcus's smile was cold. You two have a choice. Walk away now, forget everything, or I make sure you both disappear. Permanently. The police were waiting for direction. Marcus had money, influence, power. Dante's eyes met Zara's. A silent conversation. Let her go, Dante said quietly. I'll take the fall. Say it was all me. Dante, no. I can survive prison. You can't. Your brother needs you. I'm not leaving you. You have to. His voice cracked. Please, Zara. This is my mess. Let me fix it. Marcus chuckled. How touching. But unfortunately, you don't get to choose. He pulled a phone from his pocket, showed them the screen. Live video feed. Carlos. Tied to a chair in an empty warehouse. Zara's world collapsed. Here's what's going to happen, Marcus said calmly. You're going to sign over the buildings to me. Tonight. And you're going to disappear. Both of you. If I even think you're talking to the police, your brother dies. Understood. Zara couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. Dante's hand found hers. Squeezed once. Understood, he said. The police released them. Marcus had them in his pocket too. As they walked out of the building into the humid night air, Zara turned to Dante. We're going to destroy him. I know. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. They didn't know how. Didn't know if they'd survive. But they knew one thing. This war had just begun. The warehouse was in the industrial district, surrounded by abandoned factories and broken streetlights. Dante's Mercedes idled outside, engine ticking in the pre-dawn darkness. Inside the car, Zara sat in the passenger seat wearing all black, fitted turtleneck, cargo pants, combat boots. Her hair was tied back tight. War paint. Dante was in the driver's seat, black hoodie, dark jeans, face carved from stone. We don't have to do this, he said quietly. Yes, we do. Zara checked her phone. For 47 a.m., Carlos has been in there for 6 hours. If we go in, we might not come out. Then we don't come out. He looked at her. Really looked. How are you this brave? I'm not brave. I'm terrified. Her hands shook. But he's my baby brother. I raised him after Mom died. I'm all he has. Dante reached over, took her hand. His thumb traced circles on her palm. We're going to get him back. Promise me something. Zara's voice cracked. If it comes down to choosing between me and Carlos, you save him. No matter what. Zara. Promise me. I can't. Why not? Because I'm in love with you. The words hung in the air between them. Raw. Honest. Terrifying. I don't know when it happened. Maybe that first night. Maybe yesterday when you threw that award at Marcus. But I can't lose you. Zara's breath caught. You don't even know me. I know you're the first person who's made me feel alive since Sophia died. I know you're fierce and broken and real. I know I'd burn this whole city down to keep you safe. We've known each other for 4 days. Felt like 4 years. She kissed him. Hard and desperate. Tasting like coffee and fear and something that felt dangerously like hope. When they broke apart, Zara rested her forehead against his. If we survive this, ask me again. Deal. They got out of the car. The warehouse loomed ahead, rusted metal and shattered windows. A single guard stood at the entrance, smoking a cigarette. Dante whistled. The guard turned. Zara came up behind him, taser in hand. He dropped without a sound. Inside, the warehouse was massive. Empty except for shipping containers and Carlos tied to a metal chair in the center. Spotlight on him like a stage. Zara started forward, but Dante grabbed her arm. Wait. It's too easy. He was right. No other guards. No resistance. Then the lights came on. Blinding white. Surrounding them. Marcus stepped out from behind a container, slow clapping. Predictable as always. 10 armed men materialized from the shadows. Rifles pointed at their heads. Did you really think I'd leave him unguarded? Marcus laughed. I know you, Dante. You're your father's son. Reckless. Emotional. Let the kid go, Dante said. You want me? Take me. Oh, I'm taking all 3 of you. Marcus walked closer. But first, a little lesson in consequences. He nodded to one of his men. The guard raised his rifle, pointed it at Carlos's head. No, Zara screamed. Sign the documents, Marcus said calmly, pulling papers from his jacket. Transfer every property to me, or I blow his brains out right now. Carlos was crying, duct tape over his mouth, eyes wide with terror. Zara looked at Dante, at her brother, at the impossible choice. Give me the papers. Zara, don't. Dante grabbed her wrist. I have to. There has to be another way. There isn't. She took the papers, hands shaking. It's just buildings. Stone and glass. Carlos is alive. That's what matters. If you sign those, my family loses everything. 50 employees. My mother's home. Everything my father built. I know. Tears streamed down her face. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. I get it. Dante's voice broke. Family first. Always. Marcus handed her a pen. Smart girl. Zara signed. Each signature felt like a betrayal. Of Dante. Of the families being evicted. Of herself. When she finished, Marcus smiled. Excellent. Now for the fun part. He pulled out a gun. Pointed it at Dante. What? Zara's blood turned to ice. You said. I lied. Obviously. Marcus cocked the hammer. Dante's too dangerous to leave alive. He'll come after me. Can't have that. Wait. Zara stepped between them. You got what you wanted. Let us go. Move, girl. No. Zara, get out of the way. Dante tried to push her aside, but she stood firm. You want to shoot him, you shoot me first. Marcus's smile faded. You're willing to die for him? After 4 days. Yes. How romantic. Fine. I'll shoot you both. The gun swung toward Zara. Everything happened at once. Carlos, who'd been working on his ropes for the last 2 minutes, broke free. He grabbed a metal pipe and swung at the guard beside him. Dante tackled Zara to the ground as Marcus fired. The bullet sparked off concrete where her head had been. Chaos erupted. Guard shouting. Gunfire. Zara rolled behind a container, ears ringing. Dante was up, fighting 3 men at once. He moved like violence choreographed, every punch calculated. Zara spotted Carlos, grabbed his hand, pulled him toward the exit. Zara, look out. Marcus. Gun raised. Aimed at her back. Dante appeared from nowhere. Threw himself in front of her. The gunshot was deafening. Dante staggered. Red bloomed across his shoulder. He dropped to his knees. No. Zara caught him as he fell. Run, he gasped. Take Carlos and run. I'm not leaving you. You have to. Marcus was reloading. 5 seconds. Maybe less. Carlos grabbed Zara's arm. Sis, we gotta go. She looked at Dante. At his blood on her hands. At the choice she had to make. I'm sorry, she whispered. Then she ran. Carlos beside her. Through the warehouse. Out the door. Into the car. Engine roaring to life. Behind them, more gunshots. Zara drove like her life depended on it. Maybe it did. Carlos was sobbing. We left him. We just left him to die. I know. Zara's face was wet, but her voice was steel. But he's not going to die. Not if I can help it. What are you going to do? She pulled out her phone, dialed 911. There's been a shooting at the old Riverside warehouse. Multiple casualties. Officer down. Send everyone. She hung up before they could ask questions. Then she called another number. One she swore she'd never call again. Her father. The man who abandoned them 10 years ago. The man who also happened to be a federal prosecutor. Zara. His voice was shocked. Why are you? I need help. Right now. I have evidence of murder, money laundering, and attempted murder. But the guy has half the police department in his pocket. Silence. Then, where are you? She told him everything. Every detail. Marcus. Sophia's murder. The blackmail. Dante bleeding out in a warehouse. When she finished, her father said, I'm calling the FBI. Don't move. Don't talk to anyone. I'm on my way. The call ended. Carlos stared at her. Did you just call Dad? Yeah. You said you'd rather die. I lied. Zara's hands gripped the steering wheel until her knuckles went white. Sometimes you have to make deals with devils to fight demons. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Against every instinct, she answered. Hello. Heavy breathing. Then Dante's voice, weak and ragged. You left me. Relief and guilt crashed over her like a wave. You're alive. Barely. Marcus is gone. Cops showed up, he ran. His guys scattered. I called them. And the FBI. Told them everything. You what? Marcus is done. He's going down. All of it. Sophia's murder. Everything. Silence. Then a bitter laugh. You saved me. You took a bullet for me. We're even. No. His voice hardened. We're not. You signed away my family's future. 50 people lose their jobs. My mother loses her home. For what? To save your brother. Dante. I get it. Family first. But don't pretend we're even. You made your choice. The line went dead. Zara sat in the car as dawn broke over the city, Carlos sleeping against the window, and felt something inside her shatter. She'd saved her brother, lost the man she loved, and destroyed everything in between. But the war wasn't over. It was just beginning. 2 weeks later, Zara stood in a federal courthouse hallway, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. She wore a borrowed black blazer over a white button-down and dark jeans, hair pulled into a professional bun. She looked put together. She felt like she was falling apart. Through the courtroom doors, Marcus's trial was underway. The FBI had moved fast. Evidence was overwhelming. Sophia's murder. The blackmail. Money laundering spanning 3 states. Marcus was going to prison for life. But it didn't feel like winning. Zara checked her phone for the 100th time. No messages. Dante hadn't spoken to her since that phone call. She'd tried. Called, texted, showed up at his penthouse. Nothing. He'd vanished. You okay? Carlos appeared beside her, wearing khakis and a button-up shirt that was too big. Still a kid playing dress-up for court. But his eyes were older now. Trauma did that. Yeah, you. Nightmares are getting better. He studied her face. You're not, though. You miss him. Doesn't matter. Sis, you're in love with the guy. I destroyed his life. Pretty sure that cancels out any feelings. The courtroom doors opened. Her father emerged, expensive gray suit, silver at his temples, looking every bit the federal prosecutor who'd put away corrupt politicians and crime bosses. He'd been absent for 10 years. Now he was here. Complicated didn't begin to cover it. They're ready for your testimony, he said. Zara nodded, started toward the doors. Her father caught her arm. What you did took courage. Calling me. Facing Marcus. All of it. Didn't feel like courage. It never does. His voice softened. For what it's worth, I'm proud of you. I know I have no right to say that, but it's true. You're right. You don't. But her voice cracked anyway. Inside the courtroom, Marcus sat at the defense table in an orange jumpsuit, hands cuffed. He looked smaller now. Less terrifying. Just a man who'd made terrible choices. The judge called Zara to the stand. She swore in, sat down, faced the jury of 12 strangers who would decide Marcus's fate. The prosecutor, not her father but his colleague, approached. Miss Rivera, can you tell us what happened the night of September 23rd? Zara told them everything. Breaking into the office. Finding the evidence. Marcus with the gun. Carlos kidnapped. Dante shot. The courtroom was silent except for her voice. When she finished, Marcus's defense attorney stood. Mid-40s, slicked back hair, expensive suit. Miss Rivera, isn't it true that you and Mr. Moreno broke into my client's office illegally? Yes. And stole confidential documents? We found evidence of murder. That's not what I asked. Did you or did you not commit a crime? Yes. The lawyer smiled. No further questions. Zara stepped down, feeling like she'd just confessed to something worse than what Marcus had done. But as she walked past the gallery, she saw him. Dante. Back row. Black suit, no tie, looking like he hadn't slept in weeks. Their eyes met. He stood. Walked out. Zara followed without thinking. In the hallway, he leaned against the wall, staring at nothing. You came, she said. Had to see it through. Dante, Don't. His voice was sharp. Don't apologize again. I'm tired of apologies. Then what do you want? I want my sister back. I want the last 2 weeks to not have happened. I want to not be in love with the person who destroyed everything. The words hit like physical blows. You're still in love with me? Unfortunately, yes. Turns out feelings don't disappear just because you want them to. Zara stepped closer. The properties. The ones I signed over. I found something. She pulled out her phone, showed him photos. Documents. Legal filings. What is this? Marcus never actually transferred the properties. He forged the documents to make everyone think he did, but legally, they're still yours. I've been working with my dad. The FBI seized everything as criminal assets. Once the trial's over, it all goes back to you. Dante stared at the screen. Then at her. You did this. I destroyed your life. Least I could do is help put it back together. Zara. There's more. She swiped to another document. Marcus's offshore accounts. $20 million. The FBI's returning it to the families he stole from, including the people in my building. They're using it to buy their own properties. Co-ops. They can't be evicted ever again. Dante was silent for a long moment. Then, you're incredible. I'm a mess. Same thing. He reached out, tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. The touch was electric. I'm still angry, he said softly. At you. At myself. At the universe. Sophia's still gone. Marcus going to prison doesn't bring her back. I know. But I don't want to be angry anymore. I'm exhausted. Me too. The courtroom doors opened. The judge's assistant called out, verdicts in. They went back inside together. Not touching. Not speaking. Just present. The jury foreman stood. On the count of first-degree murder, we find the defendant guilty. Marcus's face crumbled. His lawyer put a hand on his shoulder. On the count of blackmail, guilty. On the count of attempted murder, guilty. The judge banged his gavel. Marcus Webb, you are hereby sentenced to life in prison without possibility of parole. Guards led him away. As he passed Zara's row, he looked at her. This isn't over, he mouthed. But it was. It really was. Outside the courthouse, rain had started again. Soft and cleansing. Zara stood on the steps, face tilted up, letting it wash over her. Dante appeared beside her. What now? I don't know. Go back to cleaning hotel rooms. Take care of Carlos. Try to sleep without nightmares. Sounds lonely. It is what it is. Or, Dante turned her to face him. You could let me take you to dinner. Somewhere expensive and ridiculous. Let me try to make up for being an angry idiot for 2 weeks. You weren't an idiot. You were hurt. Can I take you to dinner anyway? Zara wanted to say yes. Wanted to fall into his arms and pretend the last month hadn't happened. But Carlos was waiting in the car. And her apartment needed packing. And she still had nightmares about Marcus's gun pointed at her head. I need time, she said finally. To figure out who I am when I'm not just surviving. You need time too. To grieve. To heal. We both do. How much time? I don't know. Dante smiled sadly. That's fair. But Zara? I'll wait. However long it takes. He kissed her forehead. Soft and gentle. A promise more than a goodbye. Then he walked away into the rain, hands in his pockets, shoulders set. Zara watched him go, heartbreaking and healing at the same time. Her phone buzzed. Dante, when you're ready, I'll be here. She smiled through tears. Zara, I know. 3 months later, Zara stood outside a small cafe downtown, wearing a vintage band tee and high-waisted jeans, her hair loose around her shoulders. Through the window, she could see him. Dante, reading a book, looking peaceful in a way she'd never seen before. She almost turned around. Almost ran. But she'd been running her whole life. Time to stop. She pushed open the door. He looked up. His face transformed. You came. I said I would. You also said you needed time. 3 months felt like enough. He stood, crossed the cafe in 3 strides, and kissed her. Deep and desperate and full of every word they hadn't said. When they broke apart, Zara was laughing and crying at the same time. I'm still a mess, she whispered. Me too. This might not work. Probably not. We're going to hurt each other. Definitely. So why are we doing this? Dante smiled. Because life's too short to play it safe. Because you're the bravest person I know. Because I'd rather be a mess with you than perfect with anyone else. That's the cheesiest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, well, you bring out the worst in me. She kissed him again. Good. They sat down, ordered coffee, and talked for hours. About Sophia. About Zara's mom. About grief and guilt and learning to live anyway. The sun set outside. The cafe emptied. They stayed. Two broken people. Learning how to be whole. Together. 6 months after the trial, Zara unlocked the door to her new apartment. 3rd floor, exposed brick, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Not a penthouse, but hers. Earned with her own money from the new job Dante's company had offered her in their community outreach program. She wore paint-stained overalls over a cropped white tank top, hair in a messy bun, barefoot on hardwood floors that still smelled like fresh varnish. Carlos was in his new bedroom, unpacking boxes, music blasting. He'd gotten a scholarship to the state university. Started therapy. Smiled more. Zara walked to the window, coffee in hand, watching the sun set over the skyline. A knock at the door. She knew who it was before opening it. Dante stood there in a gray Henley and dark jeans, holding a potted plant. Housewarming gift. It's a cactus. Symbolic. Survives anything. Like you. She laughed, pulling him inside. That's the second cheesiest thing you've said. I'm working on a collection. He kissed her, soft and familiar. 6 months of this. 6 months of learning each other. Fighting. Making up. Building something real from the wreckage. It wasn't perfect. Zara still had nightmares. Dante still woke up crying about Sophia. But they had each other. That counted for something. I have news, Dante said, setting the cactus on the counter. The community center broke ground today. The one we're building on the old warehouse site. Where Marcus held Carlos. You're serious? Turning something terrible into something good. Felt right. He pulled out his phone, showed her photos. Construction crews. Blueprints. A building that would house after-school programs, job training, mental health services. Zara's eyes filled with tears. Dante, this is incredible. It was your idea. That night at dinner. You said we should use Marcus's blood money to help people. So that's what we're doing. You're the director. If you want to be. He handed her a folder. Official offer letter. Salary that made her dizzy. Benefits. Her own office. I'm a college dropout who cleans hotel rooms. You're a survivor who saved my life. Who saved your brother. Who brought down a murderer. Who's brilliant and fierce and capable of anything. I don't know what to say. Say yes. Take the job. Help me build something that matters. Zara looked at the folder. At Dante. At the life spreading out in front of her like a map to somewhere better. Yes. He kissed her again, deeper this time. I love you. I know. That's it? Just I know. What do you want me to say? That you love me back, maybe? Zara smiled, tracing his jawline with her fingers. I love you back. Obviously. You're kind of hard to get rid of. Best compliment I've ever received. Carlos appeared from his room, headphones around his neck. Are you two done being gross? Because I'm starving. Dante laughed. Pizza? Obviously. They ordered takeout, ate sitting on the floor surrounded by unpacked boxes, arguing about toppings and terrible movies and nothing that mattered. Later, after Carlos went to bed, Zara and Dante stood on the small balcony, city lights spreading out like stars below them. Do you ever think about that night? Zara asked. The first time we met? All the time. I almost didn't go in. Almost walked away. I'm glad you didn't. Me too. She leaned into him, his arms wrapping around her waist. We've come a long way from a hotel penthouse at 3 a.m. Yeah, you're not cleaning my office anymore. And you're not a miserable insomniac drowning in guilt. I'm a slightly less miserable insomniac drowning in slightly less guilt. Progress. They stood in comfortable silence, watching the city breathe. I went to her grave yesterday, Dante said quietly. Sophia's. First time since the funeral. How was it? Painful. But good. I told her about you. About the community center. About everything. His voice cracked. Told her I was going to be okay. Finally. Zara squeezed his hand. She'd be proud of you. I hope so. I know so. Below them, the city pulsed with life. Millions of stories. Millions of people trying to survive, to heal, to find something worth holding on to. Zara thought about her mom. About that night she chose work over being there. About carrying that guilt like stones in her pockets for 3 years. But standing here, with Dante's heartbeat against her back and Carlos safe in the next room, she felt something shift. Not forgiveness exactly, but something close. Acceptance. I'm happy, she said, surprised by the truth of it. For the first time in years, I'm actually happy. Yeah, yeah. Dante turned her around, cupped her face in his hands. Then I have a question. Okay, move in with me. Zara blinked. What? Not now. Not tomorrow. But eventually. When you're ready. I want mornings with you. Want to argue about what to watch and whose turn it is to do dishes. Want to build a life. A real one. Dante, I know it's fast. I know we're still figuring things out. But I also know I don't want to do this without you. Any of it. Zara looked at him. At the man who'd been a stranger 4 months ago. Who'd become her partner. Her person. Her home. Ask me again in 6 months. Deal. He grinned. But for the record, you're going to say yes. Confident. Hopeful. She kissed him, long and slow, tasting like new beginnings and second chances. When they finally pulled apart, Dante rested his forehead against hers. Thank you. For what? For walking into that office. For staying. For choosing me every day even when it's hard. Same goes for you. The city stretched out below them, endless and beautiful and brutal. Full of people like them. Broken and healing. Falling apart and putting themselves back together. Zara had spent years running from grief. From pain. From anything that felt too real. But standing here, she realized something. Running didn't make you brave. Staying did. Choosing to love someone despite the risk of losing them. Choosing to build a life on the foundation of everything that tried to destroy you. Choosing to wake up every morning and try again. That was courage. Hey, Dante said softly. Where'd you go? Nowhere. I'm right here. Good. Stay. I'm not going anywhere. And she meant it. Inside the apartment, Carlos's music thumped through the walls. Outside, sirens wailed in the distance. The city never stopped. Never slept. But up here, on this tiny balcony, wrapped in Dante's arms with the future spreading out like an open road, Zara felt something she hadn't felt in years. Peace. Not the absence of pain, but the presence of something stronger. Hope. I love you, she whispered. I love you too. They stayed there as the night deepened, two broken people who'd found each other in the dark and decided to build their own light. It wasn't a fairy tale ending. It was better. It was real. And it was theirs. The end.